This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details. Hello everybody, my name is Chris Gildart, and welcome back to another Pros vs. Cons mini review, the show where I present the pros and cons of my first impressions. The Atelier series has definitely grown on me the more that I play it, with Ryza being one of the best experiences that I've had in gaming, period. That being said, we never got the first Atelier game here in the West. Until now. I got my start with the Atelier series thanks to Rorona. I even snagged a Rorona figure for a decent price for the collection, but Ryza will always be my absolute favorite of the series. But you know what? Atelier Marie getting a remake for PC and modern consoles was never something I expected. I thought this PS1 classic would have stayed a Japanese exclusive forever. But even better than just giving us the PS1 game with better visuals, Gust and Koei Tecmo decided to take this a step further by fully remaking the game from the ground up, complete with chibi art style and quality of life improvements. The question for today is whether this is worth it. The original Atelier Marie was released on PS1 on May 23rd, 1997, and we would later see an improved version in Atelier Marie Plus on June 4th, 1998. But it was on July 13th, 2023 that we here in the West would be allowed to finally play this classic in HD. A huge thank you to Koei Tecmo America for providing a review code and giving me the chance to bring this video to all of you. Like I said, I've developed into quite the big Atelier fan over the years. I just kinda wish that the figures weren't so goddamn expensive. But maybe I'm getting a little too far off track here. Don't forget to give this video a like, comment with your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, let's jump into Atelier Marie Remake. Ready? Set? Pros. Starting things off strong, as always, the visuals are so great. This chibi style really helps the game feel like a good mixture of modern and classic gaming. I could almost see this being the style for a PS2 or PS3 remake of this classic, but with lighting and resolution that really make it truly feel like a modern game. Every time I saw these character models in a cutscene or victory animations, I couldn't help but think, oh my god, it's so fucking cute! This game is actually loads of fun to run around in and explore. I always found myself running around the town gathering rumors and trying to start new quests, all while I would also explore gathering areas to find materials I hadn't found before. Gameplay and story-wise though, I would say this is perfect for newcomers to the Atelier series. As far as the story goes, you play as Marie, a failing student alchemist who is given a special assignment which will decide her fate at the academy. You, as Marie, have 5 years to complete a variety of tasks that progressively get harder and harder until you've either graduated or failed. In the classic game, you had no choice but to complete everything by year 5 in-game. That's right, this game has a time limit, but don't fret if that turns you off. With the remake, we now have the option to turn off the time limit and take things at our own pace. This is the way that I decided to play my first time through. I like to take my JRPGs a little on the slower side, especially the Atelier games because of how much are usually in them. So this feature is so welcome, and I hope that they decide to remake more games in the series that we see this feature carried over. As far as gameplay, this is your usual turn-based JRPG affair that many fans have come to know and love. But Atelier Marie Remake takes things a step further here as well. The combat controls look and feel like a modern Atelier game. We also get auto battle and speed up options to plow through these easier sections. Nearing the end of what I recorded before writing this review, I was using the auto battle option all the time. Items are also single use here rather than being able to be used multiple times as long as you went back to your atelier, again giving us a good mix of the modern and classic. Then we get to alchemy and quests. Items in Atelier Marie do not have a quality rating per se, meaning no matter what, the item you create is going to be the exact same. This is another thing that makes it nicer to newcomers. It also makes for a chiller experience for longtime fans, giving them less to worry about, especially if they've become more lax thanks to games like Ryza having no time limit to worry about. Finally, I have to mention the music here, because I didn't realize that I had already heard Atelier Marie music in Warriors All-Stars. I was so surprised to recognize this song that I spent so much time just chilling in the atelier and jamming to this. Also, the music just screams late 90s PS1 era. Walking around the town just filled me with nostalgia, and I've never played this game, nor have I heard this song before. Every last piece of music in this game sounds so good, and it really makes me happy that the remake soundtrack is on Spotify as well, because I have absolutely added this to my playlist. And that's all the pros I have so far. Now it's time for the wrath of the cons! Alright, you know how I said this game looks good with its chibi art style? Well, unfortunately, from a resolution standpoint, the game doesn't feel fully like a modern remake. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think the game looks at least like a PS4 title, but I'm playing this on a PS5, and I think the only difference here is a steadier 60 frames. It almost feels like this remake was built with the Switch more in mind than other consoles. Also on the topic of looks, I find there's not nearly as many illustrations in this game. Most Atelier games have a ton. Some are story specific, and some are friendship specific, but they are all gorgeous. I think I've run into 1 or 2 so far, and I've probably put more time into this than most PvC Mini reviews. I also don't know how many areas there are, but where I am in the game, I feel like there should be more. If not more gathering areas, then more to the ones that we have. There are only a handful of enemies and items to gather. I also feel like the number of items to synthesize are a little on the small side. Even though this helps it become more of a great entryway into the Atelier series, I'm personally used to a lot more variety. I am also obligated to mention the lack of English dub. Atelier games haven't had a dub since Atelier Furus. I mean, the Ryza series was a dub for the Atelier franchise, but that's not the dub I'm looking for. As a native English speaker with raging ADHD, I get distracted a lot. So having English voices seems to tether my attention in a way that if I do get visually distracted, or maybe I should say when, I'll still be able to pay attention to the story. I don't know if we'll ever hear English voices in Atelier games again, maybe someday, but for now, I just have to deal. There is also a system that I've never seen in an Atelier game before. I don't know if it's specific to Marie or the Salzburg trilogy, but you have a knowledge stat in this game. It's required for you to level it up before you can learn more alchemy options. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the point that I've reached, it's pretty hard to gain more knowledge. But I know I can still grow. You can gain knowledge by synthesizing or gathering new items or hearing gossip around the town. Sometimes an NPC may have an exclamation mark above their head. This usually means that they have gossip for you. You can sometimes find it at the inn as well, but you'll eventually get to a point where you feel like you've done it all. Though there have been a lot of quality of life improvements made, there's one part that I feel would make this even better for newcomers. I remember this feature in Rorona and others in the series. Anytime you take an ally into battle or into a gathering area, you have to pay them a wage. This makes sense with the game's whole slice of life mechanics, but I think this would have been another nice thing to add in as an option for those who are new to the Atelier franchise. My last complaint, as always, is a nitpick that messed me up for a good amount of time. I mentioned that I mainly used the auto battle feature once I reached a certain point. That's for a specific reason. There are a couple of optional bosses in this game that I've taken out, and only 2 of them I've done without auto on. The control layout is very similar to Ryza's, where circle is attack, X is guard, square is items, and triangle is your special attack. Ryza's combat makes good use of this layout, but Marie feels a little awkward, and it wouldn't feel awkward if I were playing the Japanese version. Some of you may have put 2 and 2 together, but if you're just doing regular attacks, you have to press circle, then X. But if you are playing in Japanese, you could just mash circle. If it weren't for this fact alone, I likely wouldn't use the auto battle. Oh, who am I kidding? I like being lazy. In the end, I had a wonderful time with Atelier Marie. I feel like I'm at the halfway point, but I could be surprised with some more areas. Overall, my feeling so far is just that I want more. But it's not because this game is bad. In fact, with all that's been said, I give Atelier Marie Remake a thumbs up. Though there's not much to the story, considering you're just a failing alchemist at an academy being given a final test to prove yourself, the characters on display in Atelier Marie are the real reason to continue playing it. Most of the time, when it comes to an Atelier game, I get to a point where I just care more about the main story than I do about the character interactions. There will be the odd few like Ryza and Claudia that I will watch every last thing with them, but others I just skip over. I never felt the want or need to skip any of the conversations in Atelier Marie so far. In fact, I want to know more. I want to know if Natalie becomes a great adventurer. I want to know if Chie ever overcomes her illness. And I definitely want to know if the weapon shopkeeper ever gets his hair back permanently. Gameplay-wise, even though I'm used to a bit more complexity with my Atelier games, Marie gives a chill, laid-back experience that I can see myself replaying with the time limit in the future. The game isn't without its flaws though. I do wish the overall resolution was a bit better on PS5, considering this is a brand new game built from the ground up, not a remaster. Things like the knowledge stat and paying for your party members is a bit weird at first, but easy to get used to. The lack of an English dub is probably the most disappointing, even though I've come to expect it. And then there's the combat controls where circle is attack, but X is select. So if you keep mashing circle, it's just gonna go back and forth. As annoying as that is, I just turn on auto battle and I'm fine. Plus, it's honestly pretty easy to get used to. But if this is all I'm complaining about and I'm continuing the game, that's gotta mean something. So here's hoping we see Atelier Ellie and Lily remade in the future. For now, I'm just gonna keep pushing through until graduation. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching my mini review of Atelier Marie Remake. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe for more. What other Atelier games would you like to see get this remake treatment? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the guild just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join their names at the end of every single video for just $1 a month over on Patreon, or you can donate in a one-time fashion and join the volunteer unit over on Coffee. And a special shout out to my guild general, Beggy Beg for supporting this channel at the top tier. There are other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.